Akasha here, Nan Akasha from nanakasha.com. And thank you for joining me. We are having an incredible series. We're having a series right now that you're joining in. Maybe you're new to the series or to me. And what we're doing is exploring the idea of who am I, into who am I becoming, into who am I designed to be. Whoops, hang on, I can hear myself. Thank you for good. I'm glad you're. Whoa, no, that's not what I wanted.
You can still eat all.
Oh dear. Oh, okay.
Have you heard
I'm
of the
not sure what happened. Hang on 1 second here. Here we go. Exploring. All right, good. We got that. More technology, always more technology to go on. So we've been trying to connect, Shelley and I, for about 10 minutes, I think, at least, if not. And she was showing up on Zoom, but it kept saying she was joining. Now she's disappeared. So we're just going to hold the portal for her to come back in. And what we'll do is we will begin, and it'll all be in perfect alignment. So thank you so much for joining me. As I was saying, this series was inspired by the massive changes that we're having on the planet and within ourselves right now. And the idea that we're in a metamorphosis, just like the planet, just like our countries, our governments, our schooling, our mindsets, our perception of gender. All these things are evolving very, very quickly. We all are very aware that time, quote unquote, has sped up. We're able to perceive and receive information faster, and we're also running into blocks faster. So the faster we run into a block, the faster that we appear, the more often we run into blocks, the more often we run into our wounds or our fears or beliefs that we've had or things that we thought we had already worked on, and yet there they were lurking again within us. And this is the best way to find your wounds, to find your problems, to work on something. And I'm saying it that way because I want you to stop working on everything. Okay. And I want you to say, all right, hang on. Shelley's like, oh, she was early, but now she thinks she's not. So when we say Mercury retrograde, I'm not trying to blame everything on Mercury. I'm so sorry, my messenger. Remember, Mercury is your messenger from the gods. That's your messenger from your higher self. That's your messenger from all these things. I'm trying to clearly communicate it. This is really interesting. So we'll just leave that out. And so what happens when we ask, who am I? It was a practice given to me by a Zen master that I studied with. And I asked not only myself or the air, so to speak, but I asked also, I would sit with trees and I would talk to water, land. A lot of the land. I was working with animals at the time, and that was my entry. And so it's a way of expanding your intuitive gifts, realigning. And this is part of who you're becoming. Excuse me a minute. We have a catacorn cacao emergency. Thank you. And so we have the opportunity in this fast evolution to say, oh, I'm going to stop struggling. I'm going to stop wanting what was. I'm going to stop mourning what was. I'm going to stop holding on to what was. I am going to continue to follow my path, align with my higher self. I'm ready to become someone who clearly communicates every day. So let's take a moment while we're waiting for Shelley to find us. Again, is to go in and let's have this process together. So and if you don't have any kind of self-inquiry, it doesn't have to be complicated, because you will be stunned the amount of communication and information that is all around you right now. The amount of information that is available to guide you, to heal you, to remind you, to stop you if it's not the optimal path or the optimal relationship or the optimal moment. All right. So we are having to let go of control. We're having to let go of wanting to be certain, have hard and fast goals, plan our life way out in advance. And we're letting go of ancestral and family and cultural and countrywide, many levels of your roles in life are being embodied right now in this moment and needing to clear that. So take a deep breath in. And as you hold it, I want you to watch it. Where did it go? Did you take it in your nose? Where did it go? What did it look like? What does it feel like? And when you let it go, how do you feel like letting it go? Hard out like a dolphin, softly letting it go and letting it flow down like mist through your body. One way or another, the breath is here to be a tool of life and creation. Take another deep breath in. This time I want you to take it in through your mouth. I want you to feel it go in your mouth. What does it taste like? You're eating it. You're in a sacred chamber of light. You're in a space that is aligning with what's optimal for your highest good. So it's like tasting something designed just for you. Where does it go? How long can you hold it? And then comfortably release it. And now watch. Do you want to decide that you want to push it down your arms and ask that breath to carry the intention of releasing you from all the things you're carrying that no longer serve you? And let the breath and the intention you put in the breath go down the arms, and both physically, emotionally, spiritually, in your chakras, in your light body, and also in your mind, right? In your psyche. What are you holding on to? Let it just flush out. One more breath. And before you do this, I want you to come into your heart. That means drop your awareness in and ask to be here now, to be a clear and open channel to your highest good. Ask to activate your light body at optimal speed for you at this time. Now, I want you to take that breath in and bring it directly in your heart. Watch it. Fill it with that intention. I activate my light body at optimal speed for me at this time. When you let it go, I want you to put force into it so you could breathe it out like a dolphin. And you could feel it and watch it. Witness it. Now you stay in the heart where you drew the breath in. You keep your awareness here in your center and let it pulse expand, pulse expand. And it's expanding in every possible direction, 360 degrees, cleansing, clearing, and realigning you with your highest good, with your soul's blueprint, with your spirit guides and your soul powers, those parts of you that are waking up and those parts of you that are ready to be released and recycled. Relax and receive. And then ask yourself now, who am I becoming? And watch from your heart perspective. Now, as you're allowing all of your 360 senses to perceive, even though you don't know how many of them perceive, many of them aren't open, doesn't matter. That's your space. I have these 360 senses. I'm giving them permission to bring energy and messages to let me see, sense, feel, taste, perceive, know, remember any level of intuitive communication, because you are an intuitive being awakening very quickly, realigning with your soul's path, purpose, powers, gifts, talents. Now you want to give gratitude to yourself for being here. And you're going to receive it again from your heart center. You're standing there, you're going to open all the doors. And you say, I'm ready and willing to receive gratitude for me, for all I've done. Gratitude and love, love, because I am love. And I deserve love. And I drink love deeply in now, because I must feed all parts of my soul. And feel waves of light coming in. How does it feel? Is it a mist or a wind? Is it liquid light? Is it dragon? Seeing somebody's having multicolored, sparkling dragons flying in. I'm seeing arches all around me, like old architecture with a vast sky and these rainbow dragons. You might be feeling warmth or feeling like you're in a cave, or you may perceive nothing's just peace, bliss, love, stillness. Receive graciously this gratitude for who you are and for the fact that you're here ready to become. Gratitude to everything you've been through and every life in your soul. Gratitude that you're here right now at this destiny point in your life. Now receive and drink in love. And as that love comes to you, do you resist it or do you savor it? Who are you becoming? Do you want to be someone who receives infinite amounts of love that feed you, that delight your tastes and your body, that bring rejuvenation to your soul and your mind? Now, accept and allow and acknowledge with gratitude and grace all the energies that are here for you, all the levels of you, all the guardians, spirit guides, all the dimensions and all the lives that are a part of you, your vast universe of your soul. And for everything you've received today already, even though you may not have felt it or not know it or understood it, receive it with the certainty it is done. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful. So Shelley's here. Yay. So we've had fun with Mercury retrograde technology for many of these things. Here we go. So I'm making you a co-host. That way you can come in and out and do whatever you need if anything happens. There you go. You should be able to unmute.
Hi, Nan.
There you are. It was funny because you weren't there, then you were there, and then it said you were joining, and it just never got past that point. Then you disappeared. So
Yeah. I hopped in at the perfect time because everything that you were saying in the guided meditation that you were saying was everything that I was going to. It's amazing how the great minds think alike, the divine mind of like grounding and like coming into our bodies and like who are we becoming, and giving gratitude to like who we were, you know, yesterday and the past lives and all the things that we experienced, and then like coming into the present and like um giving gratitude to like who we are becoming. And so I was like, oh, this is so good, it's all perfect, even though, you
How
know,
fun.
tech things happening.
Yeah, so we're going to get to weave then so I took the first leg. I took the first leg of the relay. So, well, fantastic. So just take a breath, be here now. Everything is perfect. My catacorn will rejuvenate us.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
It's my favorite mug, and it's enormous and ridiculous. So, okay, good. Well, let me quickly here share all about Shelley so we can dive into what Shelley has to bring to us today. So, Shelley, one thing we've been doing on these is we're going to talk about who am I becoming the whole way, but so something may come before then, but at the end, we'll have, put all of this energy into the space, into the Akasha. As we're doing this, we're adding it into the Akasha so it's available for everybody. And then it's like, what would the what's final message that's coming through about who we're becoming? Also, we're doing a little quest. So anything that you share or guide us through, people can repeat it. But if you also have something that comes through that you would like to share with them, like, okay, on your quest and who you're becoming, something simple that people can do. So, okay, good. So this is the Who Am I Becoming series. Welcome. Thank you. That was fun to get a little space to do something fun with you guys. And here's the specials. Check out the shop. Don't forget about the Dolphin Healing Mayan retreats in July and December. And here's a peek at our schedule. So we're already here. Wow, what are we on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, day 6. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're kind of in the middle. We still have today 5 to go. So you're our pinnacle. You're our tipping point, Shelley. So okay, so let's hear a little bit about Shelley. First of all, you can find her at Shelley Tomlin. Or is it Tomlin?
Tomlin.
Tomlin.com. It's written right there if you want to know how to spell it. If you're on the list at nanakasha.com, we send all the information out there. Once we're over with this, we'll put her information below in the links. So if you're here on the channel, and make sure you subscribe, because we want to make sure you know when we go live and bring you awesome people like Shelley. So Shelley is all about healing back to divinity in the Akashic records. Shelley is a master energy medicine healer, embodied wisdom coach, personal coach for practitioners, consultants, and coaches, and a trauma-informed Akashic records consultant. I remember the first time we talked, I was like, that is super interesting. Just the specificity of it. And then when you think how you could, immediately when I said it, it went down on the earth, like the trauma, that's being released from the earth too. A mom of 2 amazing humans and a beekeeper. I love bees. Wow, they are super sacred. Shelley uses a unique combination of energy medicine, psychology, spiritual guidance tools, and strategies, and has done over 3,500 client sessions, and currently is working with women on reclaiming their feminine essence, the light within, and their personal power. Okay, so there's your official welcome. And thank you. Thank you for coming and joining us.
Thank you. Well, thank you for asking me. And I want to say that since you asked me to hop on, I have been posing the question of who am I becoming? And so soon as I started, can you hear me okay? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I just said, oh, goody. Sounded like a fun thing to do.
Because sometimes I notice Zoom will play with the settings.
They do.
It's weird. So who am I becoming? And I started posing that question since you invited me to hop in here, because I didn't know how I can contribute. And then I had all these downloads come in, and I had my paper and my pen for the past week, and I was writing notes and you know, what do I want to share and with everybody, and how I want to contribute to everybody's journey today. And so I want to share a couple things that came through. But first of all, I want to honor and acknowledge you, Nan, for putting this together, your guides for putting this together, because I hopped into a few of the sessions already that other people had shared. And I received information for myself that I wasn't quite sure of. And this thing that we're in right now is so confusing and overwhelming, and there's so much information, and it can get really overboard. And this is why I want to do that a mind balance at the end of our time today, because I really feel I'm really noticing for clients, like there's so much information. It's like we have 50 tabs open and we don't know where to go, what to do, what to influence, like what to implement in our lives.
Yeah. We went from, you know, it's really funny to think about it. I got online about 18 years ago. I was in a divorce and I met my soulmate I'm with now, and he made websites. So I got online, but it was like a completely different world. Okay. And it felt like we were just trying to figure out what the hell we were doing. But the amount of people online compared to the amount of people online now. And the big information back then was information is what's valuable. You need to create information. People want information. Now people are drowning in information.
Yes.
So we solved that problem.
Yes. And it can for us who are seeking to understand what the heck is happening to our humanness in this moment, in this time, or any time that you're going to catch the replays for these, because there's each of us are at a different level of our soul growth, our soul's evolutionary process. So and so this is why I wanted to I'll do at the end of our time, like a 10-minute healing, like on the brain, to clear actually confusion, overwhelm, any like the mind control that we've been like under to confuse us from connecting to who we're becoming. So I love what Joan of Angels said is like, we know that we've been controlled, and we have the dark has been trying to hook into us and keep us busy and all this stuff. And I find that when we unhook and unplug from all of that 3D kind of information and overload to kind of keep us busy, we actually don't know how to take action. We don't know what to implement, what's good for us. And so it interferes with who we're becoming. And so I want to really thank you for doing this series, because the tidbits that I received, and it'll help others understand who we're becoming, because it's confusing, and people are talking about, we need to hear this. So thank you for that. So I wanted to honor you and all the guests and all the souls, the wise souls that are here sharing this to help us, guide us to make this transition smoother. And that kind of leads me into the authenticity part. Is so this year in the Akashic records, I asked, what does my soul want from me this year? And my soul told me that it wants me to be authentic, wants me to take off the masks that I have on. And I was like, okay, I have like more work to do. And I really had to come up with, what does authenticity mean for me? Not what the outside world is telling me what it looks like, but for me to come back to, what does authenticity mean? And the words I received were, okay, being authentic, more authentic. So it meant being more vulnerable, like sharing like my heart hurts, or like, oh my gosh, my heart is touched. So the soul essence is requiring us to become where we're sharing the deepest part of ourselves. And yes, we are all getting activated with all of these beautiful gifts, ancient gifts and talents that, you know, we're being called to step into our intuition, and that's all coming online. And we're also being called to deepen into our essence of like the vulnerability piece, like the humanness. And so we are a soul having a human experience, and then we're also a human having to pay bills and buy milk for the cat and like weed the weeds out of our garden. And we're also having our own soul experience, our soul's evolution and growth. And so and this really kind of stood out and really was really powerful for me this year, is that I thought, okay, I'm having a spiritual experience. I'm a spirit here, but I didn't really ground it into my physical body that like I need to be here tending to the weeds. I need to cut the grass. And I need to also embrace that my soul's going through growth and evolution. And we need to hold both so that we're cleaning up our karma. So we're becoming more conscious and aware of like our actions and how they contribute to people and how they contribute and create consequences in our lives and other people's lives. So we're becoming more aware. We're becoming higher consciousness beings, which we've heard through the series that with the speakers. So, but we're also having to maneuver and take care of this human vessel in a way that we probably maybe have not done before. And one thing yesterday that came through was we are becoming of light. And what that means is we're being asked to shed all of the heavy identities that we've taken on. We're having to shed all of the old patterns that don't work for us. And I caught you yesterday talking about how something left from you when you were able to stand up straighter or sit straighter, that old identity was like leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is. And it's like, we don't know how it will happen for everybody. You know, you may not even notice it and then it's different, but it was also an evolution, of something.
Yes, yes. So the light piece is we're becoming more of light, and we're being asked to declutter. We're asked to release the emotional weight, the mental weight. I know my guides have been asking me to really guard my mental body these last few days. So this is, or not these days, but the last few months, because of this information overload. And because with all that influx of information, and my soul was asking me to just get quiet, to be still with myself so I can hear the guidance, that I can hear the information coming through. So we're also becoming one with this part of ourselves that we've been disconnected from, one, on purpose, and two, no one's talked about it. Unless you go to, a healer or a spiritual mentor, or like how we're talking this week. And so we're becoming more connected to that still part of us that is wise, that is all knowing. And so we're being required to sit, be still, declutter. We might even be asked to change our diet, to lighten up our diet. And I share this because 2 years ago, I went through like an energetic upgrade. We got sick and I was like, yes, I'm getting an energetic upgrade right now. And I had a really strong message come through saying the animals don't want to be eaten anymore. And it was so like just amazing. And I was like, yeah, they don't actually. we carry the same life force. We, walk this earth together. And it made me a more lighter, my vessel lightened since I stopped eating meat, and more clear. I was able to hear and receive messages more because there wasn't that interference and noise in my body. So I found that really interesting. So this journey of becoming has been also my unraveling of like, wow, like who the heck am I like becoming now? Like,
It's fun because we don't really stop typically, right? We're go, go, go. So to stop and to look at it, and it was so, it's so revealing to just say, who am I? But things are changing so quickly. And it seems like that idea of becoming is that spiral that you're always on, that you get to just go round and round and round. Wow. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, my partner had a severe seizure almost 4 years ago, and then I became very, very ill while he was still like a newborn, sort of living in a dark room. And then the pandemic started. And so I had already started to look at, we've been eating uh, vegan, vegetarian, raw for a while, but I found this book by Alberto Villoldo called Grow a New Body. And I realized the other day it's been about 3.5 years now that we've been eating from that. It's like green juice, green smoothies, all this. And it just started for, we need something extreme to heal, his brain and my body and so on. And then it just became a habit. And it's not that I'm not telling anybody what to eat, because that's a whole thing. Okay. What to eat, what not to eat, because quite honest, the shamans in the jungles, they eat meat. They can't grow lettuce, in India. Okay. They don't, but in other cultures they do. So I'm not saying one or the other, but there is a difference if you listen to your own inner voice.
Yes.
And I became a vegetarian when, before my kids were born. And then my whole family freaked out. And then, and then they got used to me and my weirdness, and I raised my kids that way. And they're 26 now. But when they were about 20 or so, Spirit said, you need to go eat that. And I was like, but that's meat. And I'm like, yeah. And then, and it was, brief and stuff. So I'm more like, what's optimal for me at this time, but it does make a big difference. It's one of those things that we don't like to think about, but you're fine tuning an instrument to receive more frequencies, to receive clearer frequencies, to receive higher frequencies. So
Yeah. Yes, so true. And that might change for me going forward. And it's me becoming more aware of the messages that came down for me. And I had to really close out the noise that was coming at me from all directions. And it's still happening. We get caught up in the news or the many podcasts or the interviews or that kind of thing. And so then our beautiful mind gets so busy, we don't even know what's our own thoughts and what's our own knowing coming in. So part of the reason why doing the healing at the end for us. I also, what came for me was, who are we becoming, is we're also coming out of our victimness and into victorious. So we're being supported to heal that part of ourselves, to release all of the victim programming we have. Like, what I realized, we have been so programmed to be victims, and we are not, and we are so powerful. And I journaled about I am this powerful last summer, probably every day. And I'm going to invite actually the listeners here, if, I'm a huge journaler because it helps me anchor and ground things onto pen and paper, and it gets me like really engaged in the process. And I'm going to invite you to write out, I am this powerful, to remember your own power, and it's power that's non-dominating. We're not controlling, we're not power over. It's like the creative power within us is we are this powerful to create this. We are this powerful to put this together. We are this powerful to create self-healing on ourselves, you know, and remembering that. And I would write, I am this powerful, ... And then I would put the ways that I would love to, like, I'm this powerful to create a thriving business or practice. I'm this powerful to write a book, whatever. So rewiring that in our brains so that we can start remembering. And so that was one thing that was huge, because I was in that victim place for such a long time. And I was like, oh, this is part of the programming. This is part of the subliminal programming, the mind control that we have all been wrapped up into, where a lot of people have hard time pulling themselves out. And so this is one of the specialties that I love to unhook clients and folks from, because sometimes we don't know how to do it on our own. We're so wrapped up in our wounds and our pain and suffering. And we're like, wow, we're freaking powerful. And then how do we use that, like what we've been through, as like medicine, as wisdom,
Yes.
to go forward?
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. You know, I learned that so long ago when I went through 5 years to become a master hypnotherapist, is I watched from all the sessions that we watched and we did, that the trauma was personal. It was so personal. Like, this person could have more trauma from something we would consider not that big of a deal compared to somebody like, and the way that that trauma is carried and how it triggers like other life trauma that you brought in and all these things. And so, like you were talking about, really this is like releasing the trauma and saying, you know, when you're a victim, you're powerless, right? When you're a child, you're powerless. When you're, you know, when you don't have money, you feel powerless. Or so there's a lot of different ways to do that. And yeah, that's the way the whole structure of the world has been. And it's not to get caught up in being upset about, but
Yeah.
how powerful that this is. I'm going to add this to the quest.
Yes, 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 please do. And that brings me into is that we're becoming, also who am I becoming, is we're becoming aware that we have choice, more choice than we have realized. And this has been something that has been actually taken away from us. And we've been told what to do, you know, what to do, where to go, how to do it. We weren't given the choice to find our own way about like what is true for us. So we're becoming aware. Who am I becoming? We're becoming aware that we have choice, we have permission, we can consent. I do not consent, or I consent to this, or yes or no. But so we're becoming aware of also our voice, of how that has also not been supported. So now it's like I tell folks, like, your voice is important. I want you to like share your piece. So we're becoming like where we're allowed to speak. Like we have, our voice is important. Our voice is powerful. So we're becoming aware that how much has been taken away from us and that we are. So it's the reclaiming. And that's part of the work that I like to do, is like we're reclaiming all these things that were ours right from the very beginning. And I love that you mentioned like the divinity part in the intro, is because we're becoming aware of, we have a slice of the divine, like we're a slice of the divine. We're divinity in motion, like we are God and goddess, like in motion. While we cut the grass, while we go to the mail, while we go pump gas, while we go get our groceries, all these pieces. So we're reclaiming and remembering that we are this divine being that's always connected to source if we choose to plug in. And so I invite everyone to, why, as practice, like grounding and the stillness, to connect to that original source of ours every day, to ground us, to receive the insight and the guidance that we need to make the right choices, to step into the things that are aligned or that have high frequencies.
Yeah, it's really shifting in becoming somebody that trusts that the answers are there, the support is there if you can't see it or feel it, or you only feel it sometimes. And you then immediately go back into, oh, I never get help, or whatever the old pattern was, then it's like somebody walking next to you and you're just ignoring them, right? So that reclaiming is really from your own self, from those own inner things. So beautiful. I love this. All these things you got about
Yeah,
becoming.
yeah. And also, what came down for me is that we are becoming, oh, it just slipped my mind. That we are becoming aware that it connects with the choice piece, that we have choice and we have free will. And we're becoming aware of how powerful our free will is and our choices. And we live on a planet of light and dark, of the duality of light and dark. And we have a choice to either walk the path of the light or walk the path of the dark. The path of the light has probably better feeling consequences, or if we choose to step into on the dark and walk the path of the dark, and those might not have the greatest, feelings or consequences, and plus they probably rack up a lot of karma in those places. So we have a choice of where we want to walk the path of the light or the dark. And I feel this is important because we are here, as I had said, we are spirit in a human body, and yet we're a human having a soulful experience. So we have to walk both ways, embrace our humanness and the spiritual aspect of us as well.
Yeah. The
What this will
whoops, are you there? Okay. I don't know if it was me or Shelley.
bring, or what this side will bring. And I'm like, how powerful we are with the choice if we foster spiritual. Oh, are we stuck?
No, now you're back. I'm just trying to get somebody. No, abajo, el estante abajo, la dinero. Okay, gracias.
I
Go
love
ahead.
Mercury retrograde. We just go
Yeah.
with the flow, and that's been my new mantra this year is I'm flowing with the divinity, divine, going with the flow. Whatever happens, happens. Just go with it. Just like this moment.
It's a lot less stress,
Yes.
And if you know the scale of consciousness, it's acceptance, and acceptance is where you claim your power. You get your power back. Now you have a choice.
Yeah.
Now you see other
Yes.
possibilities. Like, okay, so I'm not even going to apologize. I'm just going to say thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yes. Knowing that. Yes.
And you were saying we have a voice and we have a choice, and we're reclaiming all these things. So the voices were speaking.
Yes. Yeah. Another piece that came through with the wisdom keepers, record keepers, is that we are becoming more present. And in the present, this is where I love what you said, Nan, about acceptance of accepting what's like happening in the moment, being present, and also being present to choose different reactions, to choose to react or respond differently to situations.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is the place where we can choose to live in compassion and joy for ourselves. And so we're becoming then more present, more loving. We're understanding that people's pains and sufferings and not taking them personally.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one. That those days are over, like defining yourself with your wounds and and feeling like you're burdened to carry them forever. And you're, that connection to what everybody thinks and trying to live your life for everybody else. And you can't. That's one thing we're becoming, is we can't be people pleasers, and we can't be living our life for everyone else, because then you're not living your life. Then you aren't happy and you're not healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, who am I becoming is our own identity. And we have taken on so many identities of for our family, for our partner, our children, our friends. And it's like coming back to just identifying to like ourselves and honoring that. And that's kind of ties in with taking off the different masks that we wear, for different situations. Kind of comes back to being authentic, the authentic us. And I'm going to invite viewers to journal, what does authenticity mean, and what does it look like and feel like for myself, so that we can kind of dive in. Well, what does it actually look like? What does it actually mean? Because sometimes we don't have that knowing. And this is why I love this inner work, to investigate it, because this is how we then go, oh yeah, I want to embrace authenticity because now I have a meaning for it. So I want to just take a breath.
Yeah, take a breath. It's very powerful to ask questions, because your word is powerful. There's a reason it's the word, or spells, or affirmation, whatever. Word is powerful because you are telling yourself something, right? You're telling yourself something. And so the authenticity, asking this, you're putting your intention in your breath, like I taught people earlier today, right? Or you're going and you're saying, wow, what is authenticity? What would it even feel like to be authentically me? Do I even know myself well enough? Have I let me discover who I really am? Do I feel authentic right now? And it isn't a judgment thing, right? This is like a self-discovery of like peeling away the little costumes that you wear in all the areas of your life. Of course, if you're a mom, you're going to go be a mom. And, I was a fun mom. That was my identity. I was the mom in the pool with the kids, not on the side reading a magazine. But you also then can bring who you're becoming to all of those roles.
Yes. And people feel that. People feel that, and they love that. And so we can become, a powerful presence, that feels good to be around. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Well, it feels, unless you feel like you have something else to share, it feels like a perfect time to slide into your process.
Okay. So, the last thing that I want to share is we are becoming more of the essences that we have been searching outwardly for. So I'm going to use like love and abundance. So we have been taught, programmed to look for those pieces outside of ourselves. Love, I know I did. Abundance, wealth, beauty, all of those things. And then we would be, and it kind of falls in line with that, the victim piece and not knowing our own power. And so we're being reminded to bring those essences that we actually are love. Like, we're reclaiming that we are love in motion, that I had mentioned, like the divinity in motion, that we can embrace those essences so that we become them within our humanness, our body, and we radiate that out into all directions, into the world. And then we can bring forth, like magnetize it to us, so that we are love. We're not looking something outside of ourselves. So we're becoming those essences that we want to have. And this really landed for me last year, and I couldn't have pieced it together in my brain because of so many informational pieces that were coming at me. And because I had experienced a lot of things that were traumatic or just experiences that I didn't process. So our brain has this like scrambled, mess of thoughts and fragmented things and all these things. And so when I was doing the mind healing and I really started bringing that in for myself and clients, then I was like, the pieces all lined up. And I was like, oh, and it landed in my body. And this is what we want to know. We want to bring it in. It's not just a thought that we read or say a statement, but it's like when it comes into the body, it's like it lands and you're like, oh, that's like the light bulb moment. So we want to embody those essences. So we're becoming that essence instead of outside of ourselves. So that was
Beautiful.
the one that came through yesterday as I was preparing. So
Oh, wonderful. I love it.
yeah. Yes. Okay, Nan. So I want to bring in all of these pieces together. I want us to integrate all of these into our mind and our body. And so I'm going to offer a healing where everyone can receive. And I want to take like 10 minutes, Nan. Is that going to work?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And I know you've been holding the space and carrying everybody for the whole week here. So I would love for you to receive as well. So
Happily.
So I'm going to invite you to settle in, whether you're going to lay or sit, and just uncross your arms and your legs. And just closing your eyes. And I'm just going to invite you just to feel the back of your spine, your back. And just lean into your spine, into your support, your human support. And we're going to ask all of our guides to come in, to be with us. We're going to invite the ancestors that are wise and well to also be with us here, to help us receive and integrate all this information from today that I shared, and from the week, and all that's going to be coming in for the later days. So we're going to ask and set this intention for our guides, our helpers, all the beings of light and love and truth and healing and transformation. Asking us and them to integrate this into our mind, into our brain, all parts of our brain, the mental body. And just feeling your spine supporting you. I'm just going to invite you to imagine yourself bringing your awareness to the base of your spine, your tailbone. And just imagine a beautiful grounding cord just grounding down through your spine, down, down, down into Mama Gaia for you. Just feel your spine extend, an energetic tail or energetic grounding cord from the base of your spine, down your chair, down into the earth, down, down, down. And just lean back into your spine as you're supporting yourself. As you walk this earth, a soul having its own experience, and as your human self, walking the path of light, of growth, of evolution. And just allow yourself to just settle into your body, just to receive. And in this moment, I invite you to honor your beautiful mind. Just giving love and gratitude and honoring your beautiful mind. It's something that we don't do enough. I'm going to invite you to settle in, and I'm just going to clear interferences around the brain, the mind, the mental body. So you might hear me speaking out loud. So we're asking to clear all interferences around the brain, the mental body, the mind, clearing all subliminal programming, clearing all mind control, clearing all hooks and cords into the brain and the spinal cord, clearing and dissolving and transmuting all of that to the light with love and grace, with love and grace. I'm going to invite you to take a breath, breathing in love and grace and forgiveness for yourself. And just exhaling all that you're ready to release on the exhale. Clearing all the implants, the distractor implants of confusion and overwhelm. I'm going to invite you to imagine yourself unplugging and unhooking from all the 3D programs, the mind control. So you can imagine yourself like a cord from yourself, just unhooking and unplugging from the hive mind, the group, the old 3D world. Just unhooking, unplugging, unshackling yourself from all of that extra noise, all of that noise that's meant to keep you busy, distracted, off your path. Just bring your energy all back home to you. So I'm going to clear discordant, disharmonious energies from your system through your DNA. In this moment, I'm going to invite you, if this feels right for you, you can bring your fingers up to your thymus, your high heart, and I'm going to invite you to call back all parts of your mind and your brain back home to you. So anywhere that you have given it to an other or allowed someone to be hooked into you, or anywhere that you have allowed this place to be left behind somewhere, I'm going to invite you to call back all parts of you back home to you now, to your beautiful mind, your beautiful brain. I call all parts of my mind back home to me now. And just allow yourself to do it a few times until you feel that that feels complete. And I'm going to invite you just to notice what you're noticing in your body, in your mind, just checking in with yourself. What are you noticing? What sensations or feelings, or what is the energy around you doing? Just noticing. I'm just asking our guides and all the wisdom keepers to balance all four parts of our brain, bringing them into balance. I'm going to invite you to take a breath all the way down to the tips of your toes. We're just going to ground all of this energy into our humanness, into our physical body. I'm going to invite you to take a nice big deep breath into your heart, just bringing yourself back home. Coming back to my voice slowly, wiggling your fingers and toes. And just honoring your beautiful mind. And just asking your guides to bring you whatever is most important for you to know, to have for your life as you move forward. And that it's okay to shut down all those tabs and use discernment on what is most important for your emotional health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, and well-being. And so when you're ready, you can just slowly bring yourself back.
Thank you. That was lovely. I loved the space to allow it to happen.
You're welcome.
Mhm. Beautiful. Well, oh, somebody said they found a wood tick on their leg. Is there symbology to it? I have to say, I do not know the spiritual meaning of a wood tick other than no good.
Yeah.
For you.
And good thing found it on your leg. So good
You can see it.
awareness.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably, yeah. Take a look at where you found it. It was trying to get your attention, and it did. And it's, where you are releasing, like you've been talking about, so many toxins, mental, emotional, spiritual. Like the other day, one of the speakers was talking about how, in fact, I think it was yesterday, Donna Marie, she was like, the process lifted us up. And what I saw was like we were lifted up out of this dark haze on the surface of the planet. And just, not just the drama and the conflict that's happening around us, but the getting up, just that idea of being lifted up out of the toxic stuff, because the earth and everything is releasing shit too.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Well, is there anything else you want to share? That was just beautiful. And thank you so much for, joining the process and the week, and then sharing what came to you. And everybody should really re-listen to this if you didn't get notes, because there were so many wonderful things that you listed about who we're becoming, and they might be windows for you, like, oh yeah, maybe that's what that means, because we don't always know what it means when something happens. We don't always know when or why or how something's going to happen. And so there is all of that symbology. But thank you so much for this. There was one thing you said that I just absolutely loved. We are divinity in motion. We are a slice of the divine. I don't know why that slice of the divine was so incredibly delicious, just the way of putting that. So thank you. Anything you want to share to close?
No, just that it's been so beautiful here to be with you, Nan, in this space, and to just contribute the wisdom that came through for me, for folks, and allowing me to contribute that piece for their own journey. So thank you. Yeah, it's been great to be here again with you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So send a bunch of gratitude and love and big hugs to Shelley for all that she does, all that she is, all she's becoming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, Nan.
Ah, beautiful. So, like I said, everybody, I would highly recommend that you take some notes from this. Just being in the space and the energy and the conversation and things that it starts to bring up in you is really the best way to listen to these first, just taking it in and then watching your own experiences and journey, even when you're not um, in a process, in an active process. So, the beginning, if you missed the beginning, I guided a process while we were waiting for Mercury to allow Shelley to connect to us. And then Shelley did this beautiful process at the end. And in between, she shared lots and lots of really amazing wisdom. So be sure that you get onto nanakasha.com. There, we send you the reminders for these. We send you the replays. We send you the little quests that we're putting together. I'm going to put some of the things that Shelley shared today into our little quest. And this isn't anything difficult, and this isn't something like one of the first books I ever read back in the dark ages on how to talk to your angels. I wanted to talk to everything. I just wanted to learn how to communicate. I was doing animal communication and all kinds of other energy healing work, and I wanted to know how to talk to angels. So this book, literally, I never got through it because the first chapter was, like sit and ask a question or just sit in meditation or something, and you have to do this for like months before you can go to the next step, and you can't skip the step. And so I just kind of let it sit there for a while, and then I realized, well, that just doesn't work. It's not the pace that works for me. So Shelley touched on and gave us this beautiful healing of unplugging our mental body and our mind from overwhelm, from duties, obligations, from identities and mindsets. We're talking about that all through this because who we're becoming is aware that we haven't been being our true selves. Who we're becoming is aware and awake to the ideas that other people have and the way that our culture has been created, that we have these very deeply ingrained ideas of not being good enough or having to work hard or having to do things the way everybody else likes it, to be safe or to be loved. So know that all those patterns are part of you. They're part of everybody. And that we are releasing them, but we don't let go or chop off parts of us. We accept them. We say, oh, I've been hiding and suppressing you because I got in trouble, got my head chopped off and a bunch of other different things through lives because I talk too much or something. So I'm not using my voice now. And you go in and you're accepting that part of you. You're not banishing it. You haven't locked it in a dungeon. All the different ways that come up in my soul sessions and soul readings and third eye sessions and everything that I do with people and in our classes and our retreats. So what happens is that you're going to be like, you're on a journey, you're on a quest. You're the hero, and you also wrote the storyline. Okay. All the characters are parts of your soul, mentors, guides, parts that are here because you took them on, and now it's time to unhook yourself from them, to end that agreement, or they're there to help support you to the next level. So who you're becoming is all you need to do is just ask that and keep moving towards it, because who are you becoming? Then you're going to get a new download. You're going to get a new aha. You're going to get a new sensation. You're going to remember something you did as a kid. And well, yeah, I really do like that, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be yummy and delicious and everything else that brings you joy. And just realize that will change as you actually become authentic, as Shelley shared, authentically you. She offered for everybody to ask that question: what does authenticity feel like? What does it feel like being authentically me? It's a very good way of framing it. It's a different way of framing, who am I? How can I become me? How can I embody me? How can I embrace me? But the real me, not the fear me, not the part of me that feels cravings and unfulfilled desires, that feels less than, or feels the victim, or feels anger, or feels shame or guilt or regret. All of those low states of emotion are very toxic, and they're difficult to hear, see, change, heal, and navigate in. So the biggest benefit of these processes and these speakers and all the work that I do is to continuously give you an experience. There's a lot of information out there, and information is great, but keep it relevant to what you're going through right now. Don't try to force your mental agenda of, I need to do that book and then that book and that book, when your soul is opening up and going, woo, go over here and do divination work. I did a third eye opening session and yesterday, and everybody's is different because your soul, your higher self, your divine wisdom is guiding us, showing us where you're stuck physically, mentally, emotionally in your chakras. We're shifting and changing, and we're seeing old patterns that have rusted or gone bad or are resistant or brittle or don't conduct information anymore, actually embedded in the light body and body places. There could be all kinds of different toxins or structures. And the cool thing is the Saturn is now in Pluto, which means structures are dissolving. That's the one way to think of it. And so if structures are dissolving, yet reforming, but in a more flexible, fluid way that is ideal for you. And that's kind of what happened in this session. It was different things. And then this new structure, this new ally, this new blend of energies coming in to literally fill her structure like a antenna, so that she's downloaded now with a new alloy. I think that's the right word for when they mix different metals to get certain strengths or qualities from the metal. This one's shiny, this one's rust resistant, this one's stronger, and so on. And that's what was happening within her. Third eye was this whole plant where it's melting these different metals, these liquid energies, and they were coming in to that place. And she was reappearing as like the person who's the master of that. I make the molds, I decide what is needed, and here is all of the material I need. And it's the melting of the old you to be recycled and reused like compost. But the parts of the compost that are toxic, the parts of your past that were painful, that hold you back because you're afraid of pain, or you're afraid of criticism, or you're afraid of loss, or you're afraid of upsetting other people, or you're afraid of not being liked, or whatever it is. Okay. And everybody has that stuff, all right? But that's what's going away. So as you're going to be opening up to your soul, you're becoming the person who, if you trust your inner self and you listen, and then you develop it, you have to learn to discern. Another thing Shelley talked about today, whether this is your spirit talking, whether this is your ego talking, whether this is your fear coloring the guidance that's coming in. Okay, so you have this enormous and amazing light being, and it's being restructured. And then what came through for my client was divination, different aspects of embodying love, holding wisdom, but they kept combining within her as that her third eye I use as, okay, it is this particular chakra, it is these glands in the center of your brain. It has a function where the pineal, pituitary, and so on, they start to function and put out certain hormones that then give you expanded vision and all these other things. But it's more than just the body and the chakras, okay? This is the all-seeing eye. The all-seeing eye is the all-seeing eye of everything. One eye, one mind, one heart, one spirit. And that's how we become one thought. Now, inside the one thought, I take this energy and create this. You take this energy and create that. But how can you create it if you're trying to be what everybody else wants you to be? Then you don't know who you are. And you don't know what you can do with this energy that's coming into you. So it was such a powerful visual journey experience, healing with my client opening her third eye, because it was where, in what timeline, in what space, in what level of your body needs to be seen, shifted, removed, released, re-embodied, refurbished, resurrected. But everything ended up in the end by clearing her entire light body structure as it interacts with her body. And then this melting pot of all these liquid energies melting kind of like liquid metal into this whole area, and her standing here, I can then dip into all this raw material, and it is optimal for me because it has come from who I am. and I can form it into any shape. So she's stepping back into being the active manifester of herself by melting the old, reusing it for the new, accepting everything as it is, and showing up with a brand new apron, a brand new strength, a brand new, outlook to see and create her life now. This is possible for you. I don't know how it's unfolding for you or how your soul speaks. If you'd like to come over to shop.nanakasha.com. We have a couple of sessions, like the third eye one, on special right now. And you have this abilities that are already there. So what I guided you through the first day of the series was how to go to a quote unquote past life. Remember, time is spherical. Time is a spiral. Everything is not linear, but that's the way we perceive it for reasons of functioning. Okay. So you can go back to time and you can go forward to time, and you could connect with lives that you haven't lived yet, you personally, from your conscious awareness, but could be lived in the future, or ones you've lived in the past. The ones in the past are more powerful in that the wounds are deeper and they stay with you. So you brought them in this life because you're the pinnacle life, and you're becoming the person who remembers, I have all that I need within. I already have the skills, and I have all these wisdoms and all these parts of me that have had massive experience and massive loss and massive, but they are the wise person, the medicine person, the person with all of the knowledge. And together you heal that, and then you reclaim the wisdom and the experience. And together you're going to be reweaving an entirely new soul blueprint for yourself. And who you're becoming right now is going to be the basis, like growing the roots for who you're becoming through the rest of this decade and beyond, as we create a new reality. So thank you so much for being here, Nanakasha. I hope that I see you tomorrow. And I think tomorrow we have Raquel. Excuse me. We have the beautiful Raquel. She is such a joy. And she's got, you've seen her before. She talks about human design. But I love how we're going to get to look at how your divine design is helping you let go of the past, and a lot more about the deconditioning that we're going through. And so when you come, please like, subscribe, and share this series. Remember, it's all in a playlist, and I'll be sending you out an email a little bit later today. Namaste, everybody. Have a beautiful, blessed day.